Hey guys, and welcome to another Polymer clay tutorial. Today we will create the mini P.E.K.K.A from Clash Royale. So let's get started. In preparation for this video, I watched the commercial from Supercell when they released the new card Mini P.E.K.K.A, and I found out that the Mini P.E.K.K.A really says 3 pancakes. I didn't really know that. For me it was just some made up words when you play the card in the game. In this robotic voice, and in this commercial the P.E.K.K.A has its sword and also this 3 pancakes falling down right at the sword, and I thought, hey, we really have to create the mini P.E.K.K.A with the 3 pancakes on the sword sticking. Okay, but let's jump into the creation. First step was mixing the color. It's just some white, black and a tiny bit of blue, because I felt or I thought that there is some kind of blue shining. Yeah. Meanwhile we created the head. Now I'm mixing the blue and white, which will be the eyes, or basically the helmet part, which is supposed to be the eyes, and it looks a bit heart-shaped, so I tried to get that into the creation. And now we can go on and create the characteristic mouth of the mini P.E.K.K.A. And there's also this tiny dent, so don't forget that. It's pretty important, these tiny details. 3 pancakes. Yeah, and now we will go on. We will create the horns and the parts where the horns are attached to the head, and these are called octagons, I think. Is that right? Because they have 8 corners, yeah. Yeah, white, blue and black, and the white, well, we will just take a very bright blue, and then we will create the color gradient for the horns. If you have watched my first live stream 2 days ago, yeah, it was 2 or 3 days ago, I introduced 3 different techniques to create a great color gradient for your creations. And well, this is the most easy one, and which I prefer the most. So it's just about folding and folding. I think you need to fold at least 10 or 15 times to get this color gradient. And after that we are cutting using the scalpel. You have this shape, and I'm using a needle. You can use also a toothpick. Is it called toothpick? The wooden thing you use for removing some food between your teeth. Yeah, also the other horn as well. So it's just very complicated, but it's worth trying. And keep the other color gradient, we will need that later. Just removing some of the black clay, and there's some kind of curve in these horns, so I'm using my modeling tool for that, for the left horn, and of course also removing black clay from the right horn and getting it into shape. Yeah, okay, the helmet, the head is finished. We can go on and create the torso, which is pretty simple, I think. So this is the torso. It's nearly the same size as the head, and now we will get this groove using my knife for that. So be careful And now we will create out of a very thin layer of gray clay the breast armor. Just removing some more clay and place it on top, onto the torso, using my knife again for this groove. Yup. And well, for a real breast, all you need are the robotic nipples. Am I allowed to say robotic nipples on YouTube? I don't know. Let's find out. Also placing the other one. And well, maybe let's say these are some kind of buttons. Buttons for switching the robot on and off. Yeah, the neck, and we can place the head right onto the torso, and we need some wire. I'm using the wire because I don't want the legs to bend in the oven when the clay gets pretty soft, well, at first before hardening. Yeah, and then the figure is more stable. Yeah. Also working on the other leg as well. And then we will work on the feet. We are bending the wire just a little bit and then coating with gray clay. So I think this is pretty simple, as you don't have to be very detailed on the robotic shoes of the mini P.E.K.K.A. Now let's make 2 holes, drill 2 holes and put these legs inside. And now we can see the full body scale. There's some more armor around the lower part of the torso. So let's wrap around this gray clay, and there's also a second layer, a bit thinner, so just use the same piece of clay, just cut out this layer, wrap it around again, and after that I am using my modeling tool to get it in shape. Yo, what's next? The last armor part. And then we can go on and we can place our creation right onto the plate and work on the arms. Make a gray worm. These will be the 2 arms. I decided to bend one of them because I was thinking about the mini P.E.K.K.A holding its sword with the pancakes, and he's some kind of hungry. So the other hand will be pointing right to his mouth, as if he would say, "Oh, that looks delicious." I hope you get me. And don't make fun of me in the comments. Not again. The other hand as well, and this one will be prepared to hold the sword. Well, we have to create it first, but just make some space for the sword handle. Place it on the plate, and we will create these tiny details. There's some kind of a horn, an arm horn, or is it called defense thorn? Just place it right on the hands, and now we can use the color gradient again, but this time the thorns are way thinner. Horns, horn, thorn. Sounds very similar and also looks very similar. This is no coincidence. Now we will place these right in position on the right side and also on the left side. And the body parts are finished, so we can go on, we can create the sword. And of course we start with the handle, or at least this is the hand protection. So create this hexagon, and this will be the blade. Use a scalpel or a knife to get really nice edges, sharp edges for the blade, and this is the handle. Okay, sword is finished. Now we do some baking. The white is meal, yellow and orange stands for eggs, salt, and what did I leave out for great pancakes? This is some kind of a texture, using my pointing tool for that. You will see later why I did that. Yeah, cleaning the desk. And we are ready to go into the oven. Freshly baked pancakes, this makes sense, and freshly baked mini P.E.K.K.A. And now starts all the assembling and the gluing. This piece, well, I left that out. I didn't show you how I created this complicated part. But, well, this is just some protection for the backside of the head. I'm using sandpaper to get nice edges for the pancakes, and now just some brown and orange ochre, and we will paint these pancakes. And, well, the dents I made before with the pointing tool on these pancakes are the parts where the pancakes stay bright, and it's just a great effect. It looks so realistic. Now we will just glue the protection of the backside of the head to the robot, and we will glue the sword together. First the handle, and now we will place also the handle into the hands where it belongs, using just some super glue for that. Whoa, now we will work some more on the edges of the pancakes to remove some of the colors, because very delicious pancakes are bright at the outside. There's some kind of a bright outline around. And just make a pile of pancakes. We will glue them together. But first, let's prepare the blade. I'm using just some more sandpaper for that. Which one is the best for the top? I think this one. And now we will just slice the blade itself. Zooming in, and we will glue the first piece of the blade right on top of the first pancake, gluing the second together. Yeah, and we are just working on this pile, this tiny tower. It's called the Pancake Blade Tower. Sounds like the Trump Tower. Oh, sorry, this channel is politics free. And now we will glue the blade to the handle, and some more gluing for the last time in this video. We will glue the arm to the torso, to the body, and we will use our beloved transparent polish. I will give you a link in the description if you want to purchase that. And I guess that's it. From a small creation to a big creation, check out the tutorial of the giant if you haven't. Creating the mini P.E.K.K.A was really great because I was looking forward to create my very first pancakes, and also creating this tiny minifigure was also just a challenge, but I really loved it because this guy is just so cute, and one of my favorite cards in the game itself. If you have any ideas for further creations, please leave them in the comments or participate in the poll. Okay, I guess that's it. Thanks for watching and hope to see you next week. Bye! Pancakes! Oh.